I just want to outline that this training presentation on the OKI ColorPainter series crosses over into sales and product related detail. There will be separate product guides for sales guides, product guides and sales guides for this model, and they will be uploaded to the MSI portal. But for a solid introduction into the OKI range, I've created a combined presentation just so you get a better overview as an initial introduction. Look, if anyone likes a hard copy of this PowerPoint presentation, let me know. My email address is there, and I can actually upload one to OneDrive the native PowerPoint presentation for you. All right. Look, in this presentation there is some video content, so I apologise in advance if the streaming is a bit delayed or it's not right through, but there was a couple of things that there was some video content. So hopefully that all works okay at your end. All right. So look, just getting started. Before I get to the table of contents, I just wanted to outline my top 3 features or sales features on the ColorPainter series. I like to break this down into 2 categories: printer features and application benefits. I strongly recommend that each of you get your own understanding of the ColorPainter and then write up your own lists that suit your particular market or even your particular customer base. Because as you will see, there's many features, but these could confuse potential customers. Simplify the message into a handful of sales points and then go into detail from there. So I've just highlighted here, and a lot of these features is when I was competing against the original ColorPainter, you know, back in the day, nearly 15 years ago. But image quality at production speed, the density and richness of color, and the SS ink, the color gamut and the durability is what I love about the product. Application wise, incredible backlit quality. We'll go into more detail with that. Excellent outdoor durability, and the performance regarding vehicle graphics and vehicle wrapping, regarding how far you can stretch the ink without without losing the color. So they're my sort of top features. Go through all this information and create your own, and then we sort of offshoot from there regarding how we go to market and sell product to our individual customer base. All right, table of contents. So on the M-64s, we've got a more detailed sales information that we want to run through. This is going to be the core product. The H3-104, yeah, we're going to have opportunity, but we'll probably have higher range of sale opportunity on the M-64s. So we want to run through a bit of the history. We're going to go have a look at some comparison of specs regarding Mamaki's OKI range. We want to separate sales of OKI products and Mamaki products. And we're going to look at target applications, some comments from customers, and some user information. A couple of different graphs I want to go over there. And then the M-64s market position. Then once we get through that, we'll go through the product guides on both the M-64 and the H3-104s. So just before starting, obviously, this webinar, I think I highlighted about an hour and a half. Look, this presentation will go for approximately an hour, maybe a little over, just to get that out of the road. But we'll run through individual concepts, features, and product overview on both platforms. So we will go into a little bit more detail on that side. And then we're going to have a look at the benefits of the ink. So the beauty of the SX ink, it's a cross-platform solution for both models. So it's the main ink for M64 and H3-104, which makes it really nice from a sales point of view. Then we're going to touch on the traffic printer, which is the 3M solution on the M64s. I won't go into super detail on that. There's enough information on that product that we could almost have a separate webinar. But for now, look, different countries have got different introduction expectations. We're finalising it in Australia now regarding the solution. So I will just touch on that, especially for our team. And then finishing up, we'll just have a look at the specs briefly on both models. All right. Look, I thought it was important to go over some of the history of the ColorPainter before diving too deep into the product. So the ColorPainter 64S was an extremely successful model for Seiko, especially locally here in Australia. I believe the #1 success of this model is applicable to the current platform today. And that's a balance between image quality and speed, with rich color is still best in class. The ColorPainter 64S was launched in November 2003, and we saw installs start in Australia from January 2004. 64S offered true 720 DPI speeds at 16 square meters an hour, directly on uncoated media such as your vinyls and Benestocks. Now, at the time, it was 2 to 5 times faster than competing models. It accomplished this by printing 720 DPI at 4 passes, by using 6 piezo print heads featuring 512 nozzles per head per colour, around 3,072 nozzles. 6 colour configuration ensured superb colour accuracy and very high density, especially in red and black, where it was really almost impossible to match. All right, so highlighting the good sales of the ColorPainter HP, or highlighting good sales of the ColorPainter, HP wanted a bit of a slice of this action. So there was an OEM arrangement which was concluded in 2006, which created the HP DesignJet 9000. Now, I can remember at the time trying to compete against the ColorPainter 64S with the Mimaki JV3 range. Okay, so you obviously be familiar with some of this, but we were generally competing with the JV3 160 SP model, which was a dual 4-color, 4DX, 4 Epson printhead model. And it had increased production speed over the previous S series. Okay, the JV3 series was extremely successful. The JV3 160S was released in 2002. So it already had a good foundation, of sales regarding the S model. But customers were looking for increased production, and the JV3 SP model was our answer, released in 2004, same year as the ColorPainter 64S. Now, we would try and create all sorts of different options to get more speed out of the SP to compete, fixed dot profiles to try and increase the saturation, but we could not get anywhere near 16 square meters an hour with rich color and image quality of the ColorPainter. So at the time, the ColorPainter was slightly more expensive than other 1.6 eco-mold solvent printers on the market. But if price was not a factor and priority was speed, color, image quality, we simply could not compete. So I hope that gives a basic outline of the history where Seiko started with this particular platform. They targeted mid to large sign shops and larger print bureaus, and they were very successful, especially 2004, 2005 and 2006. Of gaining good entry, good foundation into the Australian market for production-orientated printing. All right, so having said all that, what have we got now? And what's Mimaki Global? What is our option for OKI to sell? And what you've got in front of you is a list of five printers, or 5 configurations of printer. So we've got the M-64S 6-color, the M-64S 7-color, the M-64S LCIS, so that stands for Large Capacity Ink System, the M-64s 3M Traffic, and the H3-104s, which is our 2.6 metre wide solution. Now, that is the global offering from Mimaki. Locally in Australia, we're limiting that offering to the highlighted stars that you see on the screen right now. So we're focusing on the M-64s 7-colour, the traffic solution from 3M, and obviously the 2.6 metre wide H3-104s. Now, that's Mimaki Australia's portfolio. Mimaki India might have the full gamut of options to sell, but that's something that you have to check independently. All right, so what we just run through now is like separate sales of OKI products and Mimaki products. So if we let's look at the 1.6 metre wide standalone printer sort of area, we sort of go, okay, our JB300 1.6, is a faster production than a JV150, but we can still categorize that below the ColorPainter series, the M64S. So how do we do that? We can focus on more higher quality sort of solutions, considering we even go finer picoliter dot size, and we've got more choice of color options regarding our JB300 series. So you're looking at the picoliter dot size from ColorPainter. We've got small as 12, medium 24, large 36. When we go in the JB300 range, we go 4, 12, and 16. All right, so the focus really is on the Mimaki side, the 8-color configuration, the light black, the orange, high quality type printing options, where we cap out at about 12.5 square meters an hour, which is more practical at high quality. So we sort of can define that product regarding entry level, more economical, but super high quality, great graphics for indoor and outdoor applications. Where we look at the ColorPainter range, starting with the M64S, yes, there is a more targeted focus on outdoor signage solutions because the SS Ink is outdoor superior, and we'll go into more detail with that. Obviously, clearly higher productivity. Okay, so we're starting at areas of 24, 33, even up to 66 square meters an hour. And then we look at more proprietary application solutions where the benefits we get from the ColorPainter range regarding backlit applications far exceeds what we can do regarding our Epson printhead technology with our JV300 area. So that's how we sort of define a bit more, or separate the sales market between OKI and Mimaki. All right, so target applications. So what we're outlining on this slide is breaking down the market by indoor, outdoor, small sign, large sign applications. So where does the OKI range fit? Well, as you can see with the M64, we're really targeting the majority of those sort of solutions. So it is an all-rounder sign and display printer. So yes, we can do all your indoor and outdoor solutions. But print bureaus, mid to larger sign shops that will do higher volume runs are going to get the best benefit. So where do we look at, when we highlight the H3, which is a 2.6, we will tend to be generally in the outdoor sort of solution side. Okay, and that is more determined by the width of the machine, the solutions and applications we're trying to define, and also the outdoor durability of the SS Ink makes it quite appealing to actually do certain solutions without potentially over-laminating with the H3-104s. All right, so let's have a quick look. What we've got is a series of just general comments from end users, from some customers. And here's just generally what they say about the benefit of the M64s. So exceptional backlit, that seems to be top of the list of a lot of comments. Reliability of printer, high production, fast and beautiful, obviously speeds, color, the brightness of color, no banding, can make colored PVC. So the output of color or spot color in certain speeds is that good and even where people are even just creating their own colored material, okay, straight from the color painter. So really nice dense color output. All right, so look, as we said, one of the comments from end users is the ability to create better backlit finishes with the OKI ColorPainter series. So the richness and solidness of the color, especially how opaque the black is where we really see the benefit. So what I've got here, I've got I've just got a quick graph that I want to outline regarding this a little bit. Okay, so this is this here's a technical data regarding the density on a backlit material, and it was we tested JB300 SS21, M64s in a certain DPI modes, 2 different DPI modes. Okay, but look, you can see here we've compared the Mamaki at 720 by 14 DPI 18 pass, and then the M64s, we've done a mode at 720 by 720 12 pass, and then one at 900 by 900 15 pass. The higher the number, the better the overall density of the solution and the ink. So you can see clearly across cyan, magenta, yellow, and black that the blue and green is fairly significantly stronger and more dense across the board. On top of this, we're using a mode on the SS21 ink that is enabling 1440 DPI, 720 by 1440. So it just goes to show that there's certainly some really nice strong benefits regarding the density, and backlit has certainly been one of those areas where people have invested in the product purely to have that ability of that application. All right, so this is a user information graph. So what we're showing here is types of signs that our customers are selling. Now, this was a questionnaire from 42 companies, M64s when it was installed. So you can see here that company signs, corporate imagery, backlit displays, is a huge focal point for the color painter. And then we go across to event signs, vehicle graphics, outdoor, indoor retail signs. You know, these are the things why customers are actually purchasing the M64. And you can see we're outlining some of these applications, and if you look at them, they're very much sort of production orientated. So you can see a lot of these things can be done more in volume, or need to be done more in volume, and the investment's been made through these companies because of that benefit through the M64. All right, so graph 2, what we're looking at here is, okay, what of our customers, what are we actually producing? So once again, same 42 companies, we run through, and you can see that vinyl banners is obviously high, backlit prints, which is obviously another positive for the machine. We go to car wraps, self-adhesive vinyl, obviously self-adhesive vinyl printing, huge in sign and display. So what we get looking at these graphs, it starts to highlight or it can provide an indication where the M64s is market leader regarding certain applications. So it can give you an idea of the certain markets to target for this particular product, which I think is pretty important. All right, market position. Now, this is a North American market study, and what we're looking at here is 1.3 to 1.6 metre wide, 6 and 8 colour, dedicated printer units. The M64 is the most productive printer with standard image quality. So this sort of test was done with self-adhesive vinyl for indoor application. But so what we're looking at, standard print mode on the M64 is 23.9 square meters an hour. But as I'll outline through this presentation, the M64S has a production mode that is point of sale performance at 33.1 square meters an hour. So that significantly outperforms the competition. It even outperforms this graph. Well, look at it. But so just looking at this, this is obviously data from the US. But if we focus on HP latex 560 and 570 production units for a second, you can see in the US these models are very competitively priced to increase their market share. Now, this pricing is rarely seen in other international markets. So what I'll do, I'll quickly modify this slide to highlight the 560, 570 in Australian dollars compared to the M64S. So what you're looking at now, the 560, 570, we're start low 40s, mid 40s, around that sort of price point. In Australian dollars, the M64 is around the 35,000. We will be selling, and then we look at this all rounded, and we look at the point of sale production mode that's actually 33.1 square meters an hour. You can see if it's about production printing, point of sale printing, quick turnover of production capacity, then it's very difficult to go past the M64S. All right, so look, let's run through some of the product information. Okay, we're going to start with the ColorPainter M64S. We will go over the H3-104s also. Just before I sort of get into this, look, some of the features on the M64S are also on the H3-104s. I've identified these on the corresponding slide. So at the bottom of the slide, if you see both the logos at the bottom, you'll realise that that feature applies to the larger printer as well. Just so we're not doubling up when we get into the H3. Obviously, some of these features are, exactly why we get the level of productivity at quality, and they apply to both models. All right, so quick concept M64. We've got low odor SS eco-solvent ink, great durability, wide color gamut. We've talked about the density. Then we'll go in, obviously, high printing speeds, up to 66.5 square meters an hour, and high volume ink bag. So it is 1.5 liters. Quick drying time. We've also got superior image quality. We'll go over those features. Reliable. We've got reliable print heads, new nozzle guard print head system, intake and take-up mechanism, and also we've got a warranted system there as well. We'll go into some of the ease of operation, including the CP Manager, which is a software that works in conjunction with the ColorPainter series, and it's very, very user-friendly. Gives a lot of information as well. Just on the warranty, this may vary per country and area. Mamaki Australia applies a 1-year warranty with a 2-year additional parts warranty. That 2-year additional parts warranty, we need to do scheduled preventive maintenance services, and that is a cost to customer. Okay, so we just have to make that clear. Previously, I do believe OKI were providing just a standard 3-year warranty, including parts and labour. So just for our team, please be aware that the warranty for these products has changed. All right, so these are the features. So we'll run through these in a little bit more detail, but obviously the printhead technology, Seiko printhead technology, production speeds. SS EcoSolvent ink is got lots and lots of advantages. We'll run through them. M-64s, 7-color, so we include in grey, so CMYK, light cyan, light magenta, and grey. Optical sensor for auto calibration, we'll go over that. Anti-static ionizer. We've got an airflow system, post preheating system, also good tension and take-up mechanism. We'll go over the lift system on those as well. DDP, SP, SNMM, blah, blah, blah. There's a few acronyms there, but generally, if you guys are aware of Mamaki Waveform, Mamaki Maps, which is Mamaki Advanced Pass System, and NRS, Mamaki's Nozzle Recovery System. These are similar functionalities and features that we have in the ColorPainter, but we'll go into a bit more detail with those. Efficient sub-tank, so we can change inks more on the fly, and we'll talk a bit more about the CP Manager for the benefit of communication. All right, so here's the machine. We've spoken about the bundled CP Manager that provides warnings offline, which is great. Online ionizer, which is standard, great for this model. Automatic print adjust. This optical sensor automatically performs media feed and bidirectional adjustment. Exceptional feature. High-speed print heads, industrial print heads with the nozzle guide for better reliability. Automatic head washing. This is a really nice system. This is like on a rotary type system where we actually wash and we moist the heads and actually wipe the heads all in the one system. High volume ink bags, 1.5 litre per bag. We'll go through that. Intake and take-up mechanism, a reliable winding system, and optimized airflow system. So this is really important for the production speeds that we're achieving on the ColorPainter range. All right, standard system config. You can see here where USB 2 connectivity. That is on both platforms, but we'll run through that a bit more. But what's standard now? The Onyx Rip Center, it is an OKI edition. Mamaki Australia, we're going to have that bundled and standard out of the box with the printer. I'm not sure if other subsidiaries are all doing the same thing with that. So Mamaki India, you might have to look at that a bit more independently. But Mamaki Australia, it's a bundled out of the box solution for our OKI ColorPainter range. All right, so we're going to get into print speeds quickly now. So this will go into the DDP, the dynamic dot printing. So we're trying to highlight how do we get so much density at lower production speeds, and that's what this slide really shows. So so you can see here what I've just highlighted is the normal sort of output settings. So since the diameter is large, it's possible to have a standard density and a high density setting by using small, middle, and large dots properly. So when we come across to the high density, okay, this can be used simply by switching and selecting the right profile that has been designed under the DDP high density setting. But you can see in some cases, yeah, we're getting a significant amount more density to improve production speeds at saturated color. All right, so what we've got here is an end user print mode or practical speed for the M64s. So if we look here we're saying on PVC, 33.1 square meters an hour is achievable, especially under our DDP setting functionality. All right, so what I've got, I received some hands-on training with the M64s in February. I just took some video. So this video, I'm not sure how well you can see it, but it's 360 by 360 bi-directional 6-pass. This is at the 33.1 square meters an hour. So what I was more curious about was the production mode of 360, 360, 33, and then the draft mode of 66, just to see how much varying difference there was between the two modes. So when we have a look at the 66, which OKI state, you know, it is a banner mode and it is a viable banner mode. But when we looked at it and we did our own little testing, you could see some image quality differences. I'm not saying, but what I was looking for is, could I noticeably see a difference in saturation of color? And you can see that's really flying that mode out there now. And what was interesting enough, it was very difficult to actually see a different level of saturation. The blacks were still deep in the 66 as the blacks were in the 33. So across the board, were there maybe 1 or 2 or 3% differences possibly? But to the human eye, the density of color from the 66 square meter mode to the 33 was very similar, which surprised me even at the time of those speeds. So we are talking about a significant production orientated printer. All right, so how do we generally achieve that? So we achieve that with an inline head configuration, so 7 heads arranged in line. And what this one just highlights as well, and this is it's a relatively new update, but now on our head units, you can see the guard that's been applied around the head. So it really protects the nozzle rows from actually touching media or getting damaged by the media. But so it's a significant upgrade. All right, so we've got 254 nozzles per line, so 2 lines per head, totaling 508 nozzles, with a length that's just over 70 mil. And as we mentioned, 7 inline print heads. All right, so how do we achieve the speed at density? And this is where we start talking about the dynamic dot printing technology, DDP. So you can see we actually drive the heads in a way to create a higher density drop size, okay, for the DDP mode. It is profile driven. But you can see, yes, we can use 12, 24, or 36 picoliter variable dot, and we're still using variable dot technology with the high density drop size. All right, so that really gives us the control to actually get higher production speeds. So the combination with high density ink and the 3 different drop sizes, yeah, on the M and the H3, produce high density printing at high tone area and less graininess printing at low tone area. So it's a great combination. All right, so how does this look? How do we get the speed at lower DPI modes but keep the density of the image quality? All right, so with the dynamic dot printing technology, we can achieve the color density at 360 DPI that equal saturation and color densities of much higher DPI settings. So what is the benefit? It allows us to run lower pass rates for higher production output without sacrificing color. Okay, so you see it all the time. As soon as we go into lower DPI modes on other printers to actually lower our pass rate for faster printing, we can lose color saturation. This is what we're not doing on the ColorPainter series. We've actually got similar saturation and density levels at 720 DPI and 900 by 900 DPI. So it allows us to run lower pass rates for higher production output, which is the big benefit. So this benefit with the SS Ink and Smart Pass, which I'll talk about shortly, is really the secret sauce for solid production printing on the ColorPainter range. Yeah, this feature is critical. All right, so Smart Pass technology, I think we'd all be familiar with MAPS. I mentioned before, the Marquee Advanced Pass system. This is OKI Seiko's their own Smart Pass technology. Now, what we're seeing here is 4th generation of the technology. Okay, so there's been a lot of improving, updating to even get higher levels of evenness of color out of production, which is really nice. So this feature is really important, and the lay down and the reduction in banding is significantly noticeable under this pass technology. All right, SNM. Smart nozzle mapping. So you guys will be familiar with Mamaki's NRS, nozzle recovery system. This is similar functionality. So the beauty is some of these main sales features that you use from a Mamaki point of view are now still here from an OKI ColorPainter point of view. So you don't have to think too hard about it. We've got a new dot control algorithm that's upgraded the performance of Smart Nozzle. So it compensates up to 10 nozzles per print head with restricting the print quality or speed. So you've got this feature that's all applied. This can be applied also from a software-driven perspective through CP Manager, which is quite nice. So the control of how this can be done, we've probably even got more functionality than what we do on a Mamaki perspective. All right, on carriage ionizer. Okay, really nice to have this as standard. I think I won't go into too much detail. We all know the benefits of an ionizer. So depending on the media, depending on the environment, depending on the ambient conditions, all these type of things can affect the way we print and can cause some static issues. Having this as standard on the machine, especially a production orientated machine, yeah, really provides consistent and good print quality. All right, now just getting through to now. I focused on the Mamaki Australia 7-color ink set, and this is the model that obviously we'll be selling. So it's CMYK light cyan light magenta with the additional grey. So the additional grey just means nice grayscale monochrome print images can be applied. In comparison to CMYK sort of grayscale output, we can really reduce the cost of that sort of output quite dramatically. So really nice feature, nice consistent sort of neutral color. All right, I love this feature on the M-64s, and as you can see at the bottom of this slide, you've got the 64s and the H3-104s. So it means obviously these are dual, it's dual functionality across the platforms. But yeah, so what we're doing here, the sensor will automatically perform media feed and bidirectional position adjustment. All right, so the operator does not need to make any complicated adjustment or anything before. This will be done with a new media and it's automated. So really nice feature to get that accuracy and done in an automatic sort of process. And it's really quite noticeable, especially how quick it's done, and then you go to printing. So it's not just, remember, this is not just bi-directional adjustment. We're also media feed adjustment. So that's a two-pronged process within our Mamaki systems. Generally, we've got feed compensation, and then we've got our drop position adjustment regarding bi-directional. So huge saving to get this done in an automatic process. All right, so this I just wanted to highlight here the new washing and wiper system, because this is quite unique type of system compared to sort of Mamaki systems. It is more on a rotary type chain sort of mechanism, but we do use a sponge to moisten the head surface, and then it cleans properly with not one but two wipers. So as the sponge goes across and moists the surface, the first wiper will take the majority of the ink surface away from the print head. The back wiper will take the remaining amount away from the print head. So then you're ready to go and fire. So quite a nice functionality on this, very consistent, nice test draws each time. So this is automatic head washing function. All right, so now we get to the take-up system. So we've got this newly designed media feed unit and take-up systems make your work easy and fast. So the top picture is a slide-out mechanism, allows you to easily load and unload. So the take-up is more underneath the printer. You just slide the whole system out, enables you to take off and then load back on when it comes down. The bottom picture is obviously the loading equipment from the rear. We've got a media lifter that makes your media loading work easy and fast. So that's obviously, there can be some heavy 64-inch type media. The take-up roll weight is up to 50 kilos. Okay, so quite industrial, up to 50 kilos of drive-through. All right, so now we've spoken quickly about the active airflow system and obviously the larger heater. So this has been redesigned to actually improve ink drying and airflow regarding the droplets of getting accuracy of droplet of ink. All right, so this was all really designed regarding the new SS ink solution to get the best performance from ink and hardware printer performance. So improved airflow through printer, large post heater. All right, so I've spoken briefly about the CP Manager, but look, a really user-friendly operating environment. I think we're going to have to, from a Mamaki perspective, this is quite new, the level of detail and level of information we can apply or information we can gather from the printer. So it's quite a nice feature. So you've got everything that you can monitor from, media preset settings. You can save and load, ink remaining, heat control, the smart nozzle mapping setting. I mentioned that. Maintenance information. You name what you can do, and you've got mobile device solutions as well and updates that can be applied. But yeah, you can store up to 20 types of media adjustments within the CP Manager. It also controls all your menus for cleaning and wiping and what needs to be controlled from a maintenance point of view. So really nice sort of functionality. I think it's important once we get demonstration equipment and you get these, we need to understand the benefits of the CP Manager. All right. Quickly, we'll just go over the some certificates here. But Green Guard certification for the SX ink. We've also got match component system warranty with 3M solutions there, and performance guarantees also. ICS with Avery as standard with the SS ink. All right. Now we'll just get on to the H3. I know that we're doing all right. We're coming up to an hour, but yeah. So we'll just go over some of the product information of the 2.6 meter wide H3-104s. Now I'll let you know that some of these features from the M-64 obviously cross over. So this information guide won't be as long, but I'll highlight which ones those are. All right, so quickly go through concept again. We've spoken about the benefits of the ink, production speeds. Obviously, we do drop down in speed regarding the 2.6 to our production top end production of 56.6. Now that's because we actually run an 8 color configuration, okay, on the H3-104s. All right, so yeah, we've really sort of defined a different production level, but to do that, even to be up at those sort of speeds, we do stagger the print head. So I'll go in a little bit more detail with that. We've got all those proven features from the M-64. We've also got the some reliable winding and safe scanning system. There's some differences that I'll just highlight. Warranty information is the same. And we'll quickly touch on some of the ease of operation. Okay, features at a glance. A couple of things I just want to highlight here. A lot of these sort of double up from the M-64, but we've got a double-side printing support. Okay, I've mentioned about the 8 colors. So we've actually got CMYK, light side, light magenta, grey, and then a light grey. Okay, in this in this setup. We got a mesh printing kit as an option. It is an optional item, but I'll touch on that. And yeah, the pretty much similar type of features throughout, but I'll run through. Okay, I'll get through this pretty quickly. CP Manager we've mentioned. Here's your double-sided printing functionality, sensor for easy aligning, automatic print head adjustment. So this is automatic print adjustment. So this is the optical sensor, same as the MS64. Industrial print heads are spoken about. Similar rotary wash and white cleaning functionality. Reliable winding system and large post heater system, and of course the airflow as well. High volume ink bags, 1.5 litres per bag, continuous high volume printing. All right, standard system configuration, same as M-64s, USB 2 connectivity. We are bundling Onyx Rip Center OKI Edition also with the H3-104s. All right, but as I say, you know, other subsidiaries, they may be doing that slightly different. All right, so let's have a quick look at production speeds on the H3. So you can see we've got a top end speed of 56.6 at the 360 by 360 DPI. Where we've got sort of mid-range between PVC and banner type area, which is a quite nice mode on this machine, is between the 25 and 37 square meters an hour. All right, so we can get some nice high saturation and image quality regarding those sort of modes. But the 56.6 is a better mode and is a point of sale type of mode in the H3. All right, so how do we achieve that? As mentioned, we've got 8 heads arranged in a staggered mode this time. So we've got 4 heads in line staggered once, okay, which adds up to our 8. obviously the same printhead technology with up to 508 nozzles per printhead. And our configuration we'll go through in a bit more detail a bit later. But yes, we're running the 8-color system. So CMYK, light cyan, light magenta, grey, and light grey. All right. A feature on the H3 is what we call SSS, which is Safe Scanning System. Okay, so this extends the lifetime of the printheads, protects against media cockling and rippling. So you can see just the bottom right-hand corner of that slide, yeah, we've got a SSS detection sensor. All right, so this system detects when there is contact between the printheads and the media. So it will automatically stop the printing and lift up and move back to actually flatten out the media. So it's an automated scanning detect system that is only standalone on the H3 model. All right, so now we look at the ink configuration with greys for the H3. So you can see the 8-color setup. We've got the light. We've got the grey plus the additional light grey. So we're getting once again, really nice benefits regarding monochrome printing and no colour shift. And we get great grayscale images, especially compared to just CMYK type outputs. All right, highlighted on the M-64s is the automatic head washing functionality. So same sort of setup, slightly different sort of configuration, but we've got a sponge system cleaning the head surface and then a wiping system wiping afterwards, which makes it nice, consistent and reliable printing. All right, so the take-up system, yeah, slightly different, obviously, on the H3. So we've got a media weight of up to 120 kilos. The pickup mechanism uses a rack and it's a rack and pinion mechanical sort of system for stable winding. All right, but we do have we have the option of actually tensioned winding or what we call loose winding. Loose winding, it minimises the potential for transfer of ink from the printer to the surface to the linear. So depending on your item at production speed, if you do need some extra sort of time, then loose winding may be an option. All right, so we do have a double-sided print alignment functionality. So this is obviously great for banner printing. It enables the inner and outer illumination to be brightly expressed with the same color image. So if you've got obviously block-out type banner material and you want to print on both sides and you want to align, the functionality is definitely there. And there's a sensor applied to the printer to work that functionality. All right, so optional mesh printing kit. Okay, so you can see here from this diagram, we can apply like an ink tray to the platen. So the platen would be removed, an ink tray will be provided, and then we can actually go directly onto open mesh, obviously without a backing sheet. Look, when I got trained on this regarding this option, they certainly were highlighting that it's difficult to apply really open mesh. So if you had a mesh that was over 50% see-through, okay, so let's say there was let's say there was only 40% media, 60% open, they said it could be a concern because the ink would build up too quickly and potentially go back on the backside of the mesh. So it's not an entire fixed sort of solution. There is some sort of restrictions regarding the mesh and how it is. So generally what we need is more mesh than open holes to get the best results regarding this particular option. The waste ink that's created can just be cleared out by an absorber or wiping. Okay, so that's generally how it's done. Well, in Australia, this option, the mesh option, it's approximately priced around 3,700 Australian dollars. So just to give an idea that we would have that in the prices, but at the time, that's the information that I got. So 3,700 is the approximate pricing for the mesh option. All right, so as stated at the start, all these options that we went in finer detail through the M-64s are features that are applied to H3. Okay, so the optical sensor registration, so for feed and bidirectional automatic adjustment, dynamic dot printing technology, the smart pass, and smart nozzle mapping is all applied on the H3-104. All right, so now just quickly, understanding some of the benefits of the SS ink are important, especially we've got an ink solution that is universal and cross-platform for both models, which really shows the superiority of the ink, even at the 1.6 metre wide size. You're getting advantages from a much wider industrial print solution with that ink's more suited to larger, wider format machines in a 1.6 metre wide machine. But the beauty of it, it's very low odor. Okay, it's low odor, it's Green Guard Gold, which is for wall covering. We've got an exceptional wide colour gamut, vibrant colour. We've obviously touched a little bit on that. High outdoor durability, high stretchability, fast drying time, great glossiness, high shading performance, and we use an environmentally friendly pouch type cartridge system, which is it's a similar type system that you would be familiar with BS3 and BS4 inks, where we just apply the bladder to an existing cartridge. All right, so just some of the performances. I won't go into super detail here, but the low odor eco-solvent for this type of durability and production speed is quite unique. The wide color gamut and the advantages of Green Guard with the match component system warranties, through 3M and the ICS through Avery. Outdoor durability, we'll go into a little bit that in the next slide, but the performance is exceptional on the SS ink. High density, we've gone over that. We've gone over the reasons why, but for backlit applications from this sort of particular product at levels of speed, it is best in class. Okay, so we've got excellent weather resistance and outdoor UV performance. This quick graph, we do have Epson's GS2 and Mamaki's SS21. But it's based on the resistance of yellow. Okay, so it's just a quick performance graph over a 36-month period, accelerated test in a weatherometer, and it's without lamination. Okay, but look, depending on the distance and the angle of viewing, in general, if the color fades by 20% or more, it's then generally clearly recognized that the color has faded. So that's why we've sort of put that borderline on there. But as you can see, just from a quick breakdown, and the data sheets that we'll have coming in product guides will go into more detail regarding this information in the future. but we're exceptional outdoor durability. And it touches on the reason why we can do things such as the traffic printer that we'll go into very quickly regarding 3M. If you didn't have that sort of outdoor durability, you couldn't have those sort of match component systems in place, all those proprietary type systems. All right, scratch resistance. Now, this is the only one that I could gather information on. This data is a little bit, it's a couple of years old. It was based off the HP-792 series latex ink. But look, from rub, scratch, and abrasive resistance, 100% printing of each color, CMYK. Now, it was just a quick 5-point scale that OKI sort of created. By far, we had the best abrasive resistance between all those inks. So the ES-M2 was EcoSol Max 2 from Roland. Obviously, the GS2 is the Epson solution. All right, just quickly, I think I'll go over the color gamut fairly briefly, but generally we've got a good color gamut. The top graph shows SS to GX, so GX was the previous OKI ink solution. So you can see we've definitely got some better performance and a big increase in performance, especially in the blue area, which is positive. The bottom graph is Epson GS2 and the Roland EcoSol Max 2. So once again, you can see we are achieving, generally speaking, the widest gamut, and in some cases, when it comes to especially those green areas and those things, quite significantly better than some of the competition. All right, I thought I'd just some technical data regarding the stretchability, and we've highlighted earlier in the presentation regarding vehicle graphics and wrap specialists, especially more focused on the OKI solution with the SS ink. And look, this example, we're outlining how the SS ink's density and penetration into the PVC holds its color. So even though the ink is stretching, and it can stretch as much as what the vinyl will allow, but what we're looking at, it's not so much the stretch, is the color changing the more we stretch it. So this quick application of what this gentleman's doing here, black's obviously the deepest, richest, darkest, dense color. Okay, so he's actually putting his hand, he's heated it up, he's putting his hand through it, but he wants the highlight to show, okay, is it still black within that area? Or have we gone grey, or have we seen going to white areas? But as you can see, even with that level of stretch and deep, everywhere is still solid black. There's been no discoloration regarding the ink from that level of stretch, and that's what the wrap guys really love, and it's that sort of level of detail, especially when it's super sort of high-end level of vehicle wrapping, that they love that color penetration and the depth of stretch from an application point of view. All right, so I've just done a quick slide with the ink configuration, and also we are a chip-based solution with the 1.5 litres of ink. So you can see that chip is provided at the front of each of the drawer on the system, and the bladder itself, or the bag, inserts into that drawer through a slot, and then we put it straight into the printer with the chip. Very, very similar type of configuration as what we do with Mimaki type systems, but we're definitely chip based. The ink configurations that I've highlighted there, as I said, this is for Mimaki Australia and our standard configurations. So the M-64s, 7 color, we will be running CMYK, light cyan, light magenta, and grey. In the H3-104s, it is a colour configuration with the 2 greys with CMYK, light cyan, light magenta. You can also see some of the packaging there. The bladders are delivered in a box, obviously in a box that's recyclable. It's only the bladder. There's no extra, resin or case or plastic or anything like that. So it is a reduction of waste and all those type of environmentally friendly sort of solution regarding ink delivery. All right, so now we're on to the traffic printer from 3M, or from OKI, M-64s traffic printer with the 3M solution. So look, I'll just, this is obviously a combination solution between OKI and 3M, and my understanding, this is soon to be finalised for the Australian market. Yeah, so you might look up there, and we've actually got high-end productivity at an affordable price. Now, let me just clarify that a little bit. When we state affordable price, 3M traffic solution is more expensive than the normal M-64s. Okay, it's quite significantly more expensive than the M-64, but compared to other approved 3M systems, like the DERS Row 163 or VUTEC H1625, etc., the solution looks more attractive. Okay, so certainly if you compare it to the existing M-64s, it does look expensive, but compared to other solutions out in the market, it probably aligns itself in a much more attractive space. Now, I won't go into sort of too much more detail in this webinar. There's a lot of information that needs to be provided about this solution, and it would be a separate webinar. But what I will say, there are hardware and software changes, okay, on the M-64s traffic printer to apply this solution. Okay, it's not just a bang profile sort of thing go. There is a designated heater unit that is applied. There's extra dust protective equipment at the back of the printer to get the best even print quality. There's a designated RIP software that's an SAI product that applies with this system. And then there's particular linearization that has to be done on each machine to get approval before you can start printing. So there's a lot of direct stuff on this product that you couldn't just sort of take from the existing product and get going. So that would be one for another webinar to go through all those details. All right, so we're just coming to the end now, guys. I won't stay on these slides too much, but quick spec sheet on the M-64s. Just a couple of things I want to highlight probably on here is you don't have an automatic head height adjustment on the M-64s. There's 2-level adjustments on the printer, so you can see that there with 2.1 and 2.6. On the H3-104s, your head height adjustment is automatic. So it will do that in automatic functionality. So there is some, generally just some extra automatic features on the 2.6 meter wide that we don't have on the M64S. But as we mentioned, both USB 2 connectivity and both running the same ink, which is SX ink, which is a really nice feature. All right, guys. So look, that is the end of the presentation. I hope you all got a little bit regarding an introductory into the OKI range.